Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. I'm chuckling because I was telling Jeff I don't have a lot of stuff today, but now's a good time to find out about it. But we're going to have a great show, and we're always looking forward to coming here this mornings and talking to you and sharing things on the outdoors and other good things going on around the Florida Panhandle. So let's go on with our weather, brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. High today is only going to get up to 65 and low of 56. Water temperature, it dropped back down right to even 60, so it's going up or down, 2 to 3 degrees this time of year as we're getting ready to wind up 2018 going into 2019. The river readings, Apalachicola, Bluntstown, it is still around 20 foot. It's a little bit below about 19.2, but it's staying high. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, this is still around 10 foot. And a 10-foot reading on Choctawhatchee is sort of equal to a 20-foot reading on the Apalachicola as far as the height of the water in relation to the banks and the sloughs. So that's a lot of water, and we've talked about it now for ongoing 2 weeks. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're still in those neap tides. We have today is December the 19th. We have a little bit of a tide coming in today. It's going to be a lot stronger now the next couple of days. A low tide at 3:50 this morning and a high tide at 6:24. But looking for the weekend, if you're planning to get out for the weekend before Christmas, it will be a good tidal flow here in the Bay System. All right, and the marine forecast is starting off on this morning out of the east about 4 to 5, and then it's going to be increasing to the southeast this afternoon. It's going to bring in some rain, maybe late on tonight or tomorrow. So we'll be prepared for that. Let's take our break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm glad you're with us this morning. Let's get started with some good pictures. I get fascinated bringing in different pictures and all. A lot of them are people I know, and some are not. But most of these folks I know. And this is a young lady here. One of my former students, just a lovely lady. And I'd love to see her out hunting. Her dad, David Bird, took her out to Oklahoma. Her first buck, thanks to Scarlet Ridge and Irish Ruth. This is Katie Santiago, and look at here. Look at that buck. I got a picture of her here. Isn't that a great picture? That's a wall framer for your first buck out there. Big old smile of Mom Becky Bird. I know they're all tickled to death with that. That's just a wonderful shot. And Katie, I'm real proud of you. I'm so glad you're in hunting now. That's cool. All right, let's go back closer to home. Up here, White Western, Johnny Conrad Jr. sent this. Remember, I've been telling you folks that the sand hills are just full. They're coming in South Washington County and Northern Bay. All these sand hills just full of water, and it's coming up on their. Of course, most of the houses are safe and everything. Just a lot of water there, and it goes through these cycles. But that just reflects all the rain we have had. Next picture. Here's what to do with all the trees cut down in the yard. Gail and I are riding, looking at our old home. We used to live on 21st Street in town. Yesterday we rode down to see. We're in the neighborhood, that's in St. Andrew area, to see if the house was still standing, and it was like every other neighborhood. All the houses needed roofs and all, but I don't know. This is some houses down from where we used to live, but he cut up these trees and all and made a yard scene. And isn't that a creative, positive thing to do with all the trees cut down? I just thought that was cool. And I don't know whose house it was. Julie Pitts sent this to me. Winston, Chester. This would be perfect at Mosley. I agree, it would be perfect at all the schools here. This is Iowa School Districts add Hunter's Ed course to PE curriculum. Now that wouldn't be a mandatory class, that would be an elective class, and it would be a wonderful class to get kids that want to go in outdoors, go ahead and take it at school and learn some really safe factors in bow hunting and how to handle hunting situations and all. Congratulations to the state of Iowa. I don't know if our politicians are brave enough to do anything like that, but that would be a great positive move for outdoorsmen. Hal Webb, our game warden, okay, a wildlife officer now, okay, read this now. This green sea turtle was spotted by a concerned resident within the surf line of Windmark Beach, that's down by St. Joe. When arrived on the scene, I discovered that it had fishing line wrapped around its neck and flippers. After carefully cutting it loose, I transported it to our turtle recovery unit and then went to a recovery center. So I'll send you the pictures right here. This is a green sea turtle. You don't see a lot there, but look at this next picture, okay? See the line wrapped around the flipper and all, the cutting there with a knife. This is why we don't throw fishing line overboard when they're out in the boat. Just don't do that, folks. And I've never fished with people that do anything like that, but obviously some people do it. I know sometimes you get broke off and you can't help it, but you can't help that. But this is, and here's a picture of Hal. Okay, I got a good picture of him. Oh, Hal's been pumping up on those weights and everything so he can handle those sea turtles. But Hal Webb played ball for us at Mosley and does a great job. He and his brother work St. Joe Bay. Hal and Matt Webb, good boys there. This is interesting. While we're down at Port St. Joe, we're talking about the cut. This is Wednesday's photo the other day. This is looking toward the cut that was at the state park. I'm going to zoom in. It's going to be a little fuzzy, but I want you to see, like I told y'all, I felt like this was going to happen. It's starting to sand up right now. The sand is filling in. Remember now, it was one time over 250 yards wide and 25 feet deep. It's not that way now. See that sand? There's so much erosion and water movement along Cape San Blas up because of the way it runs north-south. You're going to see that fill in, I'd say, within the next month. And they're going to have a public hearing, but just leave it to nature and they take care of it. Okay, our next picture here. Everybody's showing off their Christmas decorations, and we're over here like, hey, check out our new sheetrock and walls. This is so typical. We're in the same, we're tickled to death with our new sheetrock, and we don't have our Christmas tree up yet. And it would never have we ever waited this late, but we'll hopefully get it up by the weekend. But that's typical throughout the Panhandle, and especially here on the coastline. With all, and up in other places too, Mariana and other places. But that's fun. I thought it was funny. Whoever had the creativity on that. Sad picture here. One of the viewers sent this to me. It's on the Econfiner management area. This deer, this spike had his head caught in this high fence right here. What they don't see, they're running fast, especially young bucks, and ran into the fence. And actually, they called a game warden, and the game warden, by the time I got there, the neck had already been broken. He died. But that's just one of those bad things that happen when you have fenced areas, and they don't expect a fence, and they run into them. And that happens more times than we realize. Okay. Sad picture here. This is Suzanne Russell sent this in, but these are the two of my favorite boats, especially. Okay, look at here. They're over by Grover Davis's place around Robinson Bayou. That's the Star Queen on the right, and look at here on the left. That's the boat I go on, the Florida Queen. That's so sad to me to see them in that situation. Hopefully they can salvage those boats and get them back in the water. It's a lot of work and a lot of money to do that, and that's a situation we're facing so much around here now because of the expense of doing things and all. But that is truly the heritage of our party boat industry, the Queen Fleet boats. There are 5 of those boats, and I'll go over them maybe tomorrow, next day, about the history of those boats. But those are, homegrown folks, and so many of our captains have, that's Bobo Hobbs' boat, and that's what, that's the one I go out on head boat all the time. It's real special to me and so many other folks. So hopefully they can get them back in the water. Okay. Now let's end on a positive note. Minta Sandon Harbison, one of my favorite young ladies from Mosley way back. I've known her since she was at Mowat. They own Los Antojitos restaurant. She and her hard-working husband, Matt Harbison, and the Harbison family. A lot of y'all know them down in the Cove. This is her son, Jake. Now, folks, this is amazing. This is truly amazing. Jake just caught this tarpon off the back deck of Los Antojitos in Lake Ware. No joke. Now, Lake Ware, I'm going to bring Google Earth in later and show you. Lake Ware is a lake that's already closed off. Beck Avenue, if you go down Beck Avenue, you got Los Antojitos on the left before you get to Sunjammers. That's a lake behind there. It's blocked off from salt water. And some of my early photos, I show it. And we're going to talk more about it. But this is an amazing photo. And you can look at there. That's a tarpon. How it got in there, I do not know. And it may be a little colony of them in there. So we're going to find out. I'm going to get Jake to come on the show. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us. I do want to say, if you didn't see the picture, there's a snook that was caught the other day right under the Port St. Joe Bridge. And that's, we don't catch a lot of snook up here, but I had a picture of that, and some of y'all saw it in the paper. It was sent to me also, but since you saw it in the paper, I want you to be aware that's a tarpon caught in Lake Ware and a snook under the St. Joe Bridge, and not an everyday occurrence, how things are going. Also, I want to mention, let's go on. I want to read this to you. The other day on the show, I mentioned, if for year-end donations, I mentioned 3 places to donate something to. All 3 of these are really good causes. I feel very strong about them. One was Seasons of Hope with Michael Harris, and then Camo Dreams, and then also the Taunton Children's Home down in Weewall. And I had one of our viewers had requests, and they called me, and I said, send me a note on it, because they have this is a really good request. I'm gonna read this to you, okay? Christmas gifts are needed at Sims Veterans Nursing Home at 4419 Tram Road. There are 112 men and ladies you could bless by donating small gifts such as candy bars, crackers, socks, shampoo, toothpaste, aftershave, etc. Let's bring joy to our veterans this Christmas season. Thanks. Now that's a simple request, and folks, we can do that. That's so easy to do. And I got to thinking, I don't want to bash these toy drives because it's such a wonderful thing, but I just saw where we had 20,000, one organization had 20,000 toys brought in to give to these needy kids, which is wonderful. But if we can give 20,000, one organization can give 20,000 kids, can't we go to a nursing home, a little over 100 people, and give them a little bit after they've done so much for our country, for these veterans? So I'm asking you, on behalf of all of us, let's do. I'm gonna take them a box. I mean, that's simple stuff right there, but it don't take a lot to make them happy. They don't need a 25-foot Key West catamaran or whatever. They just want to have some basic fundamentals that a lot of us just take for granted. So I ask you from the bottom of my heart, run by there, tell them you saw them Panhandle Outdoors. We want them to be happy, have a happy Christmas. Take them a little thing to play with or something. It's just it's just interesting to get this request. Thank you for sending that to me. Also, we got talking about new things coming up. We're getting ready for Christmas now. And Jeff and I are going to work a couple more days, and we're going to take off a Christmas break. So, what we do every year, we put our show highlights on between Christmas and New Year's, and some fun things that happen during the year, some good video and all. So we got tomorrow got some stuff coming up, and then Friday fishing forecast, and we're going to hit it on Christmas Eve too. But then we got some really good highlights. If you stop and think about it, we put out 260 shows a year. Now, I really break it down about 250. There's 52 weeks a year, and we'll do 5 shows, so that's 260 days. But now we do on July 4th and stuff like that. We'll have maybe show another video, but we put out 260 shows a year. So most TV programs, what they'll do, these weekly shows, they'll do 13 shows for 13 weeks. Then they will repeat it for 13, and then the second part, they'll do 13 new shows and then repeat it. So they'll do 26 shows for the whole year. We just add a 0 to that, do 260 for the whole year. But we enjoy doing it. But I just want y'all to know what's coming up, and we'll be. And another thing too, I apologize. We don't have a lot of Christmas decorations here like we normally do. We have not, for the first time ever since we've been doing the show. It's the first time we haven't given away any Christmas baskets or any kind of things like this, and it's what the circumstances are now. We just don't have the opportunity, don't have the time to do it, and we just haven't gotten everything together yet. But we're going to get it together pretty soon, and we're going to have a giveaway, maybe a winter giveaway, a spring giveaway. But I've got some stuff to give to you, our viewers, like I normally do for Christmas. We just hadn't had time to get it together, and like I say, when we hadn't had time to put up a Christmas tree or had room to put up a Christmas tree because of sheetrock and all that, then that's been the situation. So be aware of that. Also, my good buddy, I do want to read something over here at Choctawhatchee. Okay, my good buddy Larry Brown. All right, I'm gonna read his report. What's going on in Choctawhatchee Creek? Larry, he's on the ball there. He did send this to me. I did get put for about an hour. Put the boat in for about an hour. In the mouth of Bear Creek at Jolly Bay, I got into small reds, Okay, that's Jolly Bay over there, Choctaw River. But the best part was watching a bald eagle work. And he spelled it correctly the second time he sent it to me. Seemed like when I lost my focus to watch the eagle, I would get a strike. But that just goes to show you, we do have fish biting and all. This morning, for the first time since the storm, I saw some dolphin up in North Bay. It just put a smile on right, you see them out there and you see them circling around and everything, and they're moving around. So that was a good sign. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers and in Port St. Joe. Got all kind of Christmas stuff there. Run by and check them out. The time today, 8:51 this morning to 10:51. And it'll be warming up. It'll be a nice morning, and then 6:24 to 8:24. I do want to mention Out of the Box, our little boutique down where in the Stanford Shopping Center down here. They're open now. They just reopened. It's one of the mother-daughter small businesses, and I love going there. They do have my book down there. I have a couple of them left. My book's at Sunjammer, C&G, and Out of the Box. And I was in there. We always try to buy the granddaughter something there. I had some really, girl kind of stuff. And but they do have a man's gift, a man and woman's gift, of course. And I ran into a lady who was buying one. And so I autographed it for her. I happened to be in there, and she was a Raphael. And she'd had one, but she wanted to get one for another member of the family. So I was glad to see that. And again, the story of those Queen boats I showed, the Florida Queen and all those, that was in there too. And that's, again, big, strong part of our local fishing heritage. And speaking of heritage, we also have a hunting heritage. And I want you to take a look at this, because this is from Hunter Ray. Now, I know the Ray family. I'm going to read it to you first and then show you the pictures. Hunter Ray's over here. They're in the Walton County, and they've been in Walton County since before the Civil War, I know. Looking through the old deer pics is one of my favorite things to do. Now, Hunter's a fishing guide over there. Even though I wasn't born yet, I can tell you everything about this deer story. This was a true South Walton giant. They ran him into the Gulf just west of Grayton a couple of days before, and it was so foggy, too foggy for them to see him swimming. He showed back up, and my dad killed him at Highway 98 and Highway 331. Everybody knows where 98 and 331 is, right there at the intersection, before there was anything there. I was born about 20 years too late. Things will never be like that again. Okay, here's a picture of it, 1981. That's the old Polaroid, but that's right there on, that's how big. Now I got another picture of it too. In January, look, that's deer right there, January the 19th. That's right during the rut season, and that big buck. That is a really big buck for down here in this part of South Walton and along the water and all. But that shows you there's another one there. It shows how big and wide it was. But what it shows you is our hunting heritage. And when he sent that to me, I texted him back and told him how proud I was for him to post that, because what it does, it keeps our heritage alive and younger people know what we have. And this is I wish we sort of had a book about the hunting heritage like we have a fishing heritage. And I know there's so many old stories. I've got, just here in the Panhandle, some just great hunts and great experiences in the woods and all. And Hunter's right, those times will never come back. Like these fishing times will never come back when you load the boat up with what they did and all. But it was truly a remarkable era. So I just wanted to share that with you. And what, there were a lot of comments after that. And someone in the family posted that their family has been deer hunting there since the early 1800s, but before we were actually around, we were a state, 1840s, 1850s, before the Civil War. So it was, and then deer population went up, then went down, and back up. So that's some really good stuff. I just want to share that with you. But now, what I want to do, I always jotted down some notes to talk to you about, getting back in the outdoors. It's sort of the attitude, and I talk to so many people and get so much feedback. Everybody sort of just, we're still like in a trance or sort of, everybody sort of still getting everything put back together and all, and I understand all that, but I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to you too. We need to get back in the outdoors, all of us do. We need to take some time, and I'm certainly going to do it some during this Christmas break, just get out up in the woods and maybe get out on the water. One thing about getting out in the woods, if you're hunting or not, just get out there and walk around if you can. And one thing I've always looked for firewood. Well, You know, say, I'm going to cut that next year. I'm going to cut that over there because it's leaning. Well, you know what we have now? There's firewood, there's hardwood all over the place. And of course, all of us, I'm sure, including me, we've cut a lot of it for this winter. But now I was going to tell you to also start looking for some leaning trees. That means if they're leaning, some good hardwood, they're still going to have the root system in there. So they're still going to be good green. If they're already down, they're going to be dead and they're going to be hard to cut next year because they're going to be solid and it's going to dry out. It's going to be hard to cut, you know, dead, dry wood. But these, I've already marked leaning trees for next year. I've got a little mark, and it's just around my neighborhood and all, if nothing happens to them, because I'm going to go cut them next summer and then let them dry out over the summer, but they'll still be green when I cut them. So that's just an outdoor tip I wanted to give you to do that. Also, let's go to the water now. In taking your boat out, you heard what Bubba Hart said. They went out there and dropped a jig down one time and caught a 27-inch grouper right offshore. So I want to urge you, don't wait too late. Don't wait till about June or something. I think I'm going to go out and see if those fish are still there, because they're going to be out there now. They're going to be all around these wrecks. These groupers going to be around the wrecks, and there's going to be a lot of fish out there. And if you get a chance, you know, get out there and get your boat going. But remember, we talked about running the boat. I didn't cover this with Bubba yesterday, but every winter we're talking about running our boats because so many of us don't run them in November and December and January. But you need to get that motor running and get that old gas out of there and just get out for a boat ride. So, you know, jog, put it on the refrigerator, you know, go outside, go to the woods and take my boat out. Go and put it up there and write you a little note, put it on the refrigerator. And every time you walk by, you'll think about it. I do want to urge you to get outdoors, and yeah, I think it's going to be good for all of us. I know it's going to be good for me, and it'll be good for you too. So with that in mind, we're going to start wrapping things up. Also, if you have any resolutions, we're going to start going over our New Year's resolutions coming up, and I've got a bunch of them. I don't know if I can hold it to 10, but every year I do 10 resolutions for the outdoors, and so we'll be sharing that in the next couple of shows. All right, we're going to wrap it up. As always, we want to tell you how much we appreciate watching Panhandle Outdoors, and we appreciate all the feedback, all these pictures you send so we can share them with each other. It really means a lot to all of us, so thank you. You do something good today for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.